Shay think he know everything. Shay think he know everything.
Hello and welcome to the next episode of Shay Think He Know Everything. This is almost an impromptu show because I learned today of the suicide of Steven, aka Twitch Boss, the DJ from Ellen DeGeneres. Always happy, had the greatest smile, has the greatest smile. Just an excited guy, always brought the energy, especially on the show or on their social media. You just, got, you just felt good watching him, felt good seeing him. If he smiled, you smiled, and I'm here because I think suicide has become so prevalent today, and so prevalent among young people that it actually baffles me. I just don't get it, and I'm not saying that to put down anybody who has done that. I just want people to know that suicide is something that's very real. And let's take Twitch for instance. Every time I saw him, and of course it was on TV or social media, he was smiling, big old pretty smile. But there must have been times when cameras weren't on, that he was going through some things. And I'm not sure if he felt like he could talk to somebody. I'm not sure if maybe he was embarrassed to talk to someone. Excuse me, y'all. I on the level of television and superstardom, I don't understand having to put on a smile all the time. But from the level of someone who's always, smiling or making people smile, I really do understand how hard it is to be quote unquote on all the time, especially when you're going through things. If you know who Dion Cole is, he's a comedian, and he's probably more widely known for his part on the show Blackish as Charles. But in his latest Netflix special, he even said, it's hard for comedians to come out and make people laugh when they're going through things. As he spoke about losing his mom. But I said that to say that, people who are like on television, on social media, and always have to be quote unquote on, I just can't imagine how difficult life must be when they actually are going through some things, but have to be quote unquote on for the television. And I want people to know that it's okay to not be quote unquote on. It's okay to say, you know what? I need some time to go be sad. It's okay to say I need some time to go be by myself. And it's okay to say I need some time to go be sad. Because people need that time to cry it out. People need that time to scream into the pillow. People need that time just to sit and be quiet, and we'll never know what this young, gorgeous man was going through. Just a gorgeous human being, a gorgeous soul. We'll never know what he was going through. And I remember I had a friend that committed suicide many years ago. And I'll never forget the pastor giving the eulogy said, you don't know what was on this boy's mind. And that's the honest truth, because that young man, I had just hung out with him, a few friends, in our group got together and had a little kind of hotel get together, smiling, laughing, talking. I saw him walking one time, gave him a ride to where he needed to go, and he was like, "Hey man, take care of yourself." And we laughed and talked, and you know, and then somebody called me a few mornings later and said, he had, committed suicide. So you just never know what people are going through. And that's the main reason why I try to tell people all the time, always, 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 always do your best to make sure that you're having positive interactions with people, even when you don't want to. And they don't have to be positive, they just don't have to be negative, right? So they don't have to be jovial and happy, but they don't have to be negative interactions, because you don't know how close somebody is to the edge, and you might be that one that push them over, or because of your positiveness, you might be that one to make them say, "I can do this another day." Okay, and I told y'all in a few podcasts earlier that I myself at times battle with depression, and that's not an easy thing to deal with. It's not at all. But we have to fight every day. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm doing this particular podcast is because what I do know is that, it seems as if, society as a whole takes suicide for granted. Not everybody, not most people, but the general makeup of society. It's not close to me, it's not me, but people don't know how close it actually is to them. Okay. And we have a suicide awareness month, and it needs to be a suicide awareness daily. Okay. And I say that to say daily because, people go through things every day, and we just never know what that is because we never get a chance to obviously ask somebody after they're gone. We never get that chance to do that. Okay. And so I'll reiterate again to make sure you're always having positive interactions with people. Okay. Because if I was to do what I'm tired of good people having to leave here via suicide. Okay. I think we need to spend time, in prayer and in meditation. And I said before in another podcast, it's absolutely okay to see somebody, to see a counselor, to see a therapist. It's absolutely okay. And I heard somebody say something the other day that is crucial. Okay. Men already have a hard time showing their vulnerability. Meaning you have to talk to somebody, talk with somebody, try to talk with a loved one, things to that nature. And I want people to know that aren't males, right? If you're not a male, listen very closely. A male will give you the one chance with their vulnerability. And if you take that opportunity and mistreat a man's vulnerability, he'll never be vulnerable with you again. Okay? So, and that's like brother to guy, brother to brother, female to female, female to male, male to female. Listen, if a man has a hard time expressing his vulnerable or showing his vulnerable side. So if a man is trying to show you that, please, please, please respect it and don't step on it, because they'll clam up and then feel like they can't talk to anyone because someone has, mistreated their vulnerable side or their vulnerability. And it's hard for men to open up and express things that they're going through because we're always taught so young to always be tough and always be strong and always be. And I'm so glad that the parents I had were not that way. My mom was not be tough, be strong. She was not that. She loved on us and hugged us and made us feel like we could talk about things with her. But I was at a buddy's house one time, and his son was about 7 or 8, and he was upset, and the son began to cry. And my friend looked at him with such confusion and consternation that he was crying, and then went over and punched the kid in the chest and told him, "Stop crying. We don't cry." And watching that kid hold his emotions in just hurt me. And the guy was my friend, and I told him, I said, don't do that to him. Don't make somebody hold in their emotions. If your son wants to cry, let him. Because I don't know if you know this, but crying is a purge. Crying is a cleansing. Okay? If you are hurting, a cry cleanses. A cry purges pain. Right? When you feel pain, you cry. And crying purges that pain. So let people purge that pain. Because if that pain stays in and does not is not let out, is not purged, then it stays inside and begins to manifest and become quote unquote cancerous on the inside to the psyche of the individual, to the soul, to the spirit of the individual. I'm not saying that was this young man's issue. I'm just trying to let people know that, if you have a young son or even a young child, let them be emotional. Let them let those out. Because if you make them feel like they can't be that, they're not going to be that. They're not going to, talk when they're having problems or talk when they're, experiencing new feelings, new thoughts, strange feelings. They're not going to talk about that. And if they feel like there's no one they have to turn to, then, suicide might be a palpable option to a person who's going through some things like that and has been taught not to express their emotions and their feeling. Listen, I'm a crier. I'm not ashamed to cry. I'm not embarrassed to cry. I think, like I say, I think a cry is a purge. A cry cleanses. Okay, purges pain. So let, especially young boys, 8, 9, 12, let them cry. Okay. And it's okay if you hold them while they cry. Let them, men don't get to bury their face in somebody's chest and cry, because that ain't what we do. But it's okay to let a man do that. Let a young boy do that. Okay. It cleanses. I know y'all tired of me saying that. Okay. Clean. Okay, so that's what if I was going to do a portion of I'm tired of, us losing good people to suicide. Okay. So if I was to do a word for the day, okay, if I was to do a word for the day, that word would be tired. That word would be tired. That word again would be tired. Okay, it is spelled Tired. Tired. It's an adjective. Describes the noun, describes things. Okay. The definition is exhausted as by exertion, fatigued or sleepy. Okay. Excuse me, y'all. Exhausted as by exertion, fatigued or sleepy. That's the first definition. The second definition is weary or bored. Weary or bored. And the third definition is impatient or disgusted. Impatient or disgusted. And I'm going to tell you why I chose this word. Because this word has become a trigger word, a trigger or warning word in my life. Over the years, I have associated people using that word as in not just saying that they are physically sleepy, but they are tired. Okay? And I say that to say I have noticed over the last 7 or 8 years that when I hear people say things like I'm tired, I look up, a year, a couple of years later, or a few days later, and that person is deceased. Okay? And now I want y'all to listen to me closely. I had to thesaurus the word tired. I thesaurused it because I wanted to know what other words, right, are associated with tired. Okay? And some of those other words are annoyed, distressed, drained, consumed, empty, finished, sick of, fed up, run down, done for, burned out, and worn. Now the reason why I chose this word again is I want you all to start listening to the people around you, right? If someone's body is sleepy and they want to go to sleep, they'll say, "Man, I'm sleepy," right? If you hear your friends saying things like, "I'm tired," check on them, okay? Check on them, because they might not be saying, "My body is sleepy and needs rest." They might be saying, "I am annoyed, I am distressed, I am drained, I am consumed, I am empty, I am finished, I am sick of, I am fed up, I am run down, I am done for, I am burned out." Okay? Watch them if you hear them say, "Man, I'm tired." Okay? And I want you to be very aware of your surroundings and what's going on around you when you hear somebody say, "I'm tired," right? Because what I have been kind of doing my own little study over the years is people who are sleepy and want to go to bed, they'll say, "Boy, it's bedtime. I am sleepy," right? But I've heard people who have been sick. I've seen people who have committed suicide. When people ask how are they would say, "Oh, I'm tired," right? And people might think that means I'm sleepy, but that could mean other things. Okay, I just did thesaurus that word for you. And while the definition of tired is exhausted as by exertion, fatigued, or sleepy, okay, it can mean weary or disgusted or annoyed or distressed or drained or consumed or empty. Okay, so if you're around people, if you're around a person or someone that you care for, or not even someone you care for, just an associate, and you hear them saying things like, "I'm tired," watch them, check on them, okay? And I've seen that mainly with people who have, an illness. And you would say, or I heard people say, I asked them how they were doing, and they would say, "I'm tired." Okay? And the same thing can be, spiritually or emotionally. Somebody can say, "Man, I'm tired." Okay? So if you call someone or you see someone and you ask them how they're doing, they say, "Oh, bro, I'm tired." Don't always take that as sleepy. As a matter of fact, ask them, "Oh, are you saying you're sleepy?" Right? Because if they reply and say, "No, bro, I'm tired," take a look at them, okay? Spend some time with them. Ask them, don't pry if they don't want to be, asked that. But I'm telling you, I've just been noticing that the last 8 or 10 years, and I try to make sure that if I'm physically sleepy, I say I'm sleepy, right? I'm almost afraid to say I'm tired because of what I have seen over the past, 8 or 10 years. Okay, so watch your friends, people around you who say things like "I'm tired." Remember, that could be I'm annoyed, I'm distressed, I'm drained, I'm consumed, right? I'm empty, I'm finished. Okay, I'm sick of, I'm fed up, I'm run down, I'm done for, I'm burned out, I'm worn. Okay, I'm tired can mean all of those things if taken in context. That's why if you hear somebody say I'm tired, ask them, what do you mean when you say that? Okay, I was on Instagram and I saw it was probably a popular post of a young man watching someone trying to hang himself. And the young man walked over and said, "Hey, don't do that, buddy. Give me a hug." And the man started to cry and said, "I'm tired, bro." And I just, I watched that and I heard him say that, and that took me to where I go when I hear people say that. He said, I'm tired, right? You know what I mean? And so, life can do that, right? Life can make you distressed. Life can drain you. Life can consume you. Life can make you feel empty. Life can make you feel finished. Life can make you feel sick of. Life can make you feel fed up. Life can make you feel run down. Life can make you feel done for. Life can make you feel burned out. And life can make you feel worn. Life can make you tired. Okay? So that's why I chose that word. And one more time, pay attention to people when they say I'm tired. Please, please, please. That's a trigger word for me to make sure I'm checking on people. And it's okay to ask them. If someone says I'm tired, you ask them, so what are you saying? You sleepy or, right? And they might say, no, I'm ready to go lay down and go to sleep. I'm tired, right? But if you say, what do you mean by I'm tired? And they just say like, I'm tired, bro. You're going to have to spend some time with them, okay? Or talk to them, or get them somebody who they can talk to. Ask them, is it okay if I refer you to this person? If you're going through some things. I just wanted to spend this time sharing that with y'all. Okay? So, with that being said,
Man, Shay think he know everything.
thank y'all for coming. I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. Twitch, RIP. Drink some water. Okay, hug somebody. It's important.